Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and weird things is currently happening in Niger, Africa. So the Russians, previously I reported, I know it's not many people cares about it, but I know Russia was deployed into Niger. The landing in Niger was caught in huge fanfare in the country, and of course all the anti-West, anti-US countries, and the weird thing has happened. The Nigerian government sent the Russians to be deployed within the same base as the Americans. In fact, the base was actually built by the Americans, and they actually sent the Russians to basically bunk beside the Americans, basically in the same base. Because to the Nigerians, this airbase 101, to the Nigerian, this new military junta is their base. Despite the Americans built it, is Nigerian property, and they just deployed and housed them together with the Americans, and this is now confirmed by the American side, but they say that the Russian troops do not have access to the US forces, meaning that they don't meet. They are housed in a separate hangar, but it is super awkward. It's a bit like, suddenly you and your ex suddenly sit on the same table, and you can't really get away. So the kind of situation. So Lloyd Austin confirmed the Russian military personnel have entered the airbase hosting US forces. So after the Nigerian military junta wanted to expel the US troops, because the US troops did not leave, the Americans do not want to leave, and this comes after even despite that the Niger's effective government right now, the military junta, expelled them. So the Americans are lingering around, trying to hope that something will change, and then now the Russians are now in the military base. And I will talk about the consequences and all the implications later towards the end of the video, in case you guys lost interest. Just scroll to the back. So anyway, the Nigerian government say that the US must withdraw its 1,000 US troops stationed in the country. And so this military base, actually they use it to fly drones that is helping the Americans to maintain control and influence over the entire of the North Africa, the Sahel region. And so this military deployment is super awkward, and according to the US official, probably anonymous, they say that the situation is not great, but in the short term manageable. So the defense secretary say that the American one say that there's no significant issue as the Russians do not have access to the US personnel or equipment, which is weird. I mean, even if they have access to the American personnel, what is the significant issue? I'm not sure. Of course, equipments are sensitive, so I'm quite sure the Russians will not go and touch it. And so Airbase 101 is where their forces is a Nigerian airbase, and they're co-located with an international airport in the capital city. So the Russians are in a separate compound. So that's okay. That means it's not just an airbase. Actually, it's an international airport. Interesting. I thought it was a separate base. Also, that's 102. Maybe that's 102. This is 101. Yeah. Anyway, he said that he's focused on the safety and protection of their troops, and something they will continue to watch. But right now, they don't see significant issues in terms of force protection, because of course the Russians are not going to just shoot at them right now. So other stuff. So other stuff is the rest of the article is not important. So the same article was reproduced in India today, and basically I think they may have a bit more information from memory. So Airbase 101 is next to the Diori Hamani International Airport in Niamey. Let me pull out the map. So this is Niger, and so let's zoom into Niamey. Niamey is over here, and there should be an airport to be quite visible. So this is the airport, the Diori Hamani Airport, and there is an airbase. So I believe maybe this is a separate airstrip for the military use, and then these probably the military bases, and it looks like one. This probably the Americans one, and then maybe the Russians are being held in a separate facility, a separate hangar. I'm not sure where hangars. Maybe it's this one. Not entirely sure. Maybe they are further away. Maybe the Russians are being housed in the separate area here. So anyway, that's the situation in Niamey. Very weird. And this is basically Niger's way to tell the Americans they are not very welcome, clearly, and are basically, you know, trying to make it very awkward for the Americans, and also there are some other implications, you know, regarding this Russian presence, because if the Americans decided to use their military force to force an overthrow of the current government, they can't, because the Russians are now there. Another implication is that for the Americans to raise any stake in the Ukraine war to become a direct combatant against Russia would also mean a shooting war right in the middle of Niger as well, and this will literally put all their soldiers at risk. All 1,000 of them will be swarmed, not just by the Russian troops, but also by the Nigerian troops. So it's not so straightforward when we, you know, sometimes we talk about, you know, Americans intervening in the Ukraine war, declaring war, although we know that it's not likely to happen, but let's say, you know, to escalate things, the Americans are now very vulnerable, especially in the situation in Niger. So this is definitely not tenable. And this is not the only thing. Just a few days ago, an article by the Arab Weekly also wrote something about this. They say that the Americans have been pushed out of Chad. Chad is actually the country just next to Niger. So zoom out, this Niger, and then here is Chad. Chad is just next door. I'm not sure, you can see Niger and Chad. Chad is just next door, and there's 100 troops, American troops in Chad, and even the Chad ones is now getting kicked out. They're very inspired by the Nigerian military junta, and so now they are questioning. Do the Americans actually have agreements to allow them to stay in Chad? So that is getting very confusing for the Chads. Then the Chads asking the Americans to please leave the country tentatively. So let me let me highlight where they wrote. So according both okay, so US trying to salvage then okay. So in recent days, Chad also questioned whether an existing agreement covered the US troops operating there. So US as a result will relocate approximately 100 strong force. So 100 strong force in Chad for now. So they are now continuing the conversation with Chadians of Chadians. No, imagine they are super Chads. Chadian officials. The US AFRICOM. So to reposition some of its US forces from Chad, and then some are scheduled already to depart. So they try to cope about this. They try to make an excuse saying that this is just a step, a part of their ongoing review of their security cooperations, and which will resume after the presidential election. So maybe they hope that the new president or whatever president in Chad might be more positive about having Americans around there. So this is the current situation right now. Very, very awkward. Very, very awkward. To have this happen. I got confused because this is actually this not 102, 201 in Agadez. This is actually a very remote airbase. So I didn't read carefully because I saw the picture. So Al Jazeera, no, this is not good. Anyway, this wrong photo led me to thought that it was actually the Agadez one. So actually it's 101, so not 201. So yeah, this one is in Niamey, so very interesting. Anyway, thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe. I just thought this is a very bizarre news. I mean, they are deployed at the international airport that is already known before that. So no, this is not entirely news. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next update.